Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Gabin from Design Tribe, and I'm excited to bring you another graphics design tutorial again. And for today's video, we are going to be redesigning this flyer in Photoshop. I'm going to be showing you how I designed this. We are going to break it down step by step. So this is going to be a very interesting video. So I encourage you to watch right to the end, and please don't forget to support me by liking and sharing this video. So let's get straight to it. The first thing we want to do is to create our project file. So we just go to file, new, and here I'm just going to define the file size. So I'll preferably want to use 1200 by 1200 pixel size, and resolution I'll put it at 300, and I'm just going to click on OK. So back to this design. The first thing I want to do to break down this design is to show you how I created the background. So for this background, I used this blue color. So I already have the blue color selected. So what I'm going to do is, here, this is a color on my color picker here, and it's already on my foreground as my foreground color. So I'm just going to create a new layer here, and I'm going to fill that color in this space by pressing Alt or Option backspace on my keyboard. And once that is created, if you look at this design, you will see that I have a lot of things going on in the background. So we are going to construct this background before we begin to add the elements into the design. So the first thing is to create this top left corner of our design. So to do that, I'm just going to select my ellipse tool, create a new layer, and make sure I pick a pale blue color like this color. Just select something that looks like this, and I'm going to create a circular shape here. So before doing that, I'll make sure I apply that color to my fill, and stroke, disable the stroke. So I'm just going to hold shift to create a perfect circle. You hold shift while drawing the circle. So I'm going to hold shift, and I'm going to draw the circle like this. And once that is created, I'll move it to this position. And if you look here, it wasn't curved out like that. It was kind of a straight curve. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp this circle. So to do that, I'll just press Ctrl Command T on my keyboard, and I'll resize it by holding, making sure that this chain button is not turned on, because once this chain button is turned on, it's going to make sure that any adjustment you do on the image or on the shape is proportionate. So I'll uncheck that by holding shift, and I'll just click here like this, and I'll now increase the size. And once I move it to this position, just increase like that. So I've created that first layer already. So when you check again, you see it extended right down. So we just want to bring it down and increase the size again to something like this. That is already done. The next thing is to create another one that extends to this other part. So I'm just going to create a copy, Control Command J, and I'll press Control T, and I'll just flip like this, and I'll move it to this point somewhere about here. And for this layer, I'm going to drop its opacity down to something like, say, 16. And for the first layer I created, let me hide this so we can see clearly. For this other layer, I'm going to drop its own opacity down also to something like that, maybe 64%. Now that first part is okay. Now it's to create this other part down here. So I'm still going to apply the same principle. I'll still select my ellipse tool, and let me hide this, create a new layer, hold my shift key, just create like that, Control T, increase the size, and I'll position it somewhere down here. So increase the size and position it here like this. And now for this, I'll press Ctrl J to create a copy and Ctrl T, and I'll reduce the size to something like this. Now this layer behind the first layer I created, let me hide the both layers and I enable them one after the other so you see what I'm doing. This first layer, this one is the big layer, so I'm going to drop the opacity of this layer to something like this. And then this other layer, which is kind of within, is what I'm going to use to create this line that you see here. So for this layer now, what I'm going to do is I'll go to the layers properties here. I'll turn off the fill color and I'll apply a white color there on the stroke, and I'll increase the stroke width by maybe to 2 or 3 pixels like that. Okay, 4 pixels, I think 4 pixels is okay. And you see the line, so if you really want to increase it, it's optional. Okay, that's it. Maybe I may want to increase it a little more. I don't think the change was applied, so let me just drop this down. Yeah, I think 5 pixels is okay. And once that is done, I'll also drop its opacity a little like that. Something like this is okay. And I'm going to hold the two layers together, Ctrl T, and I'm going to distort them a little like this. Up. Okay, so I can now position both layers somewhere here. Okay, once that is done, the next thing I did was to create this other curve here. So for that, I'm just going to create another layer, and for that I'll use my rectangular tool. Just create a rectangle like this, and once the rectangle is placed, I'll move it right down to the bottom like that, drop its opacity a little low like that. Then I'll press Command or Ctrl T on my keyboard, turn on the warp option, and I'll use this to warp it. Just warp like that. Okay, and I can move this down to this position a little, and for this I may choose to maybe give it yeah, a color like this, and I'll still drop my opacity a little more like that. And now I just need to create this circle and the outline. So for that, I'll go to my ellipse tool, create a new layer, hold shift, create a circle like that. Once that is created, I'll just press Ctrl J like that, Ctrl T, and increase the size a little. And for this outer one, the one that is bigger, I'm going to go to my settings, turn off the fill, and apply the stroke like that, and I put in a stroke size of 5 pixels. I want to increase that a little more. Let me just increase, I think, yeah, 4.6. And now I'm going to turn on this, and I'll put it at the center like that. So we want to reduce the size of this a little more. And for the strokes color, I'm going to give it the same color, the same color as in this other, the same color that this circle has. So I'm just going to apply that same color like that. And for this circle again, I'm going to apply a gradient effect. So just add a gradient overlay to it like that. Let me open it up so we can see. So for that color, since we already have the color used on the design already, I'll just pick the same color from here for the gradient, and on this other bright color I'll pick the same color, but I will go to brightness and brighten it up like that, and I click on OK just to create more variation. So I'll just select these two layers, Ctrl T. Now drop the size a little and I position them somewhere around here like that. With two layers selected, I'll drop the opacity a little and bring them down like that. Select both of them again, Ctrl T. I think we are good to go. Reposition this. So at this point, all what I need to do is, okay, I can add this line here and even this line up here. So to add that line, just use my ellipse tool and make sure I turn off the fill, and for the stroke I put a white color, and for the size of the stroke 4.68, and I'll just select the stroke again, the circle, sorry, the ellipse tool again. I'll just hold my shift key and I draw a perfect circle like that. And once that is drawn, I'll just click here, position it somewhere here, and for that I'm going to add a mask to it. And I'll use my brush tool to paint out the areas that I don't want, because with the mask, when you paint with the black color in the mask, you erase the area which is being painted, and to review that area you paint with the white. So if you don't understand how masks work, I have a video that I did for that before, so I encourage you to go watch that video. So now I'm just going to increase the size of my brush like this and make sure my brush is a soft brush. The hardness is down to 0%. So I'll just dab from down like that. Okay, that is okay. And I'll also drop the opacity of that layer to something like this. So I think we are done with the background. Now we just need to import the other element and we are going to proceed. So right now I'm just going to bring in the image that I used. I'll just drag this and I'll drop into our design here and position it somewhere here like that. Increase the size a little. Okay, so you see that we might need to modify a few things like that. Okay, so once that is positioned, the next thing I did, because I didn't, like you see, the reason why I used a yellow color here. First, the yellow color works well with the blue color. They are contrasting colors, so they work well. But I used that color to hide the edges of her hair here. If I had used a color that is very, maybe a white color or another color which is not really having it, like the background from which this image was separated from was kind of orangey, so you see already has this kind of orange effect on the hair. So you want to have something that looks like the color here, so it would not really be visible that the background was changed. So that's why I had to use an orange color in this place. So that's why I'm going to create a new layer here, and I'll use my brush and I will open up my color picker and I'll pick this yellow color or orange, and I'll just dab here like that. Once that is done, I will also create another layer behind this yellow color which I've created now, and I'll use a white color, increase my brush size a little, and I'll just dab once like that. That's just to make the effects of the yellow color not to be too strong. So I may just reduce this a little to this position, so the transition may be a little more smooth than it was before. Okay, so once that is done, next thing, you just need to bring in my texts and do the necessary adjustments. So the first thing I want to bring in is the title of the company, Edit Spur. So I'm just going to select my text tool, and for that I used Montserrat, and it was a bold and italic font. So I'll just type here, maybe I reduce my font size to that. Now type Edit Spur, select everything and choose bold and italic. Yep. Control T, rotate like that, reduce the size, and I'm going to add the slogan, your research companion. So I'll just select this, Control J, and position. The reason why I'm creating a copy of this is so that they have the same angle. So I'll just type your research companion, select everything. We use I'll change the font type here to regular italic. So I'll just type italic, and I'll use the font size to about 9, maybe 8 can do, or even 6. No, say 8, and I'll position it beneath like that. Now just going to bring in, say, do you need professional assistance with your research? So just navigate to where I have the document. I'll just select this. Oops. Control C. It's easy to design when everything has already been typed out. So just select everything like that. Control V. Select. For that I'll use bold italic, and for that I'm going to use this yellow color here and increase my font size about, I think, 18, no, 16. You just want to adjust this and align everything left like that. Oops. Select this again, close up the space, the line spacing by holding Alt, and then you use the up arrow key and Control T, rotate like that, position it here, and we want to reduce the size a little, position it somewhere here like this. And for that, I want to brighten that color again, so I'll go to brightness here, increase the brightness a little so it's a little more catchy to the eye. And now the next thing is, let's assist you with the following. So I'll just type in, I'll use this, create a copy of this, Control J, I bring it down here, double click on that. Okay, let me bring this up. Let's assist you with the following. Okay, Control T, I'll drop the size like that and position it somewhere here. I want to bring this to this side. Select these two. I think they're a little bigger than this. So you always need to modify until you have the perfect balance. It's here. Okay, so I'm going to import this. Just drag, drop here. I'm going to resize it to something like this. Position it here. Copy the first point. First point is translation from French to English. Copy. Use this same text since it has the same angle. Ctrl J. Now paste here. Select everything. Increase the font size to, let's say, 10. Yeah, I think 8 is okay. I'll create a copy of this. Ctrl J. Now bring it down to this position. Just copy the next text. Ctrl J to create a copy of this, and I'll just paste this inside that. And for this one, I'm going to reduce the line spacing by holding Alt and I press on the up arrow key. Just bring this together like that. Ctrl J, bring this down. Select this. Ctrl C. Create a copy of this and I'll bring it here. Ctrl V. It's down. Like that. During the video, please do well to like. And if you haven't yet subscribed, do well to subscribe as well. So just this, and here I'm going to create another copy. Ctrl J, statistical analysis. Ctrl C, Ctrl J, and position this. Ctrl V, Ctrl J, Ctrl J, position this here, move that to that point. Publication support. Ctrl C, space here like that, and that is it. The next thing is just to create this contact tab. So I'm going to do some modification. Now see that we have to reduce the size of this, so I'll just press Ctrl C. I'll drop this down a little more here, so it's going to come down like that. This is going to go down a little more. Select this to Ctrl T and position them here. Now I'm just going to create a line like this. For creating that, I will create a new layer, and I'll just draw that, disable the fill, the stroke, sorry, and activate this fill color here. And for this, I may want to make it a little brighter. Ctrl T, rotate, position it somewhere here, like that. So bring this back. Now I'm going to add a mask to it, and I'll paint out this part like that. Next thing I'm going to do is to rotate this a little more. I'm going to create this square shape on which we are going to place the WhatsApp logo. So I'll just come again to my rectangle tool, create a new layer. Here I'll disable the stroke, then enable the fill color to be white. Going to draw something like this. Bring this down, position this here, Control T, and I'm going to skew, just move this up like that. Position it here. So now I'm just going to bring in the WhatsApp logo. So I'll just drag the WhatsApp logo and I'll drop in with the size to something like this. I'll position it here. I'll move this behind a little. So move. I'll just copy the contact. See? And I'll just create a copy of this text again, and I'll bring here. Sit here. Control V. Control A. Pick this color in the background. Now place this below. Select all. Close them up like this. Control T. Rotate to align with the shape. Just like that. You're pretty done. So what I'm just going to do now is maybe do some slight modifications on the colors, brighten that up some more. Brighten it up. See the opacity. Some more. And that's it. So I just need to do one last step, which I always do for my designs. Select everything together like that. Just create a group, and I'll convert everything to a smart object. Go to filter, camera raw, and just do some color refinements at this stage. So first thing I want to do is to bring down highlights a little, increase my contrast, brighten up my shadows a little, increase my whites, darken the darks a little, and some more texture and clarity, the haze. Don't want to do much at this stage, so just leave my sharpening at that point. And I think that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. If you watched up to this point, I just want to say thank you. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, do well to like and to share. It's a way to encourage me to do more. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye bye.